Well, welcome back to the AI Marketing Companion. I'm your host today, Sandy Carter. You know me, I'm a Ford's contributor. I'm focused on AI adoption, and I'm CEO of the Agentic AI company. And this episode is powered by Brevo and SEMrush. Brevo I use for all of my CRM, and SEMrush I'm using for AEO and SEO. Both of these platforms help marketers scale smart. Now, I invited Tatyana on because I wanted to find out what's happening to marketing teams this year. I'm hearing in some of the roundtables and some of the conferences that I'm at is that leadership is really pushing you guys to move faster on social. Post more, test more, respond more. But then you also got hit with budget cuts. So your team got smaller or stayed the same size, but the workload is increasing. So then you looked at AI, and most AI content tools say speed, speed, speed. You get 50 posts a week, but sometimes they don't sound like you. Your brand voice disappears. And we all saw this last few weeks, Nike got hit with a big reveal that they were using ChatGPT and the ads did not do well. And then we also saw others using some of the video tools where people had 6 fingers and their trust ratio went down. I think that's a huge gap. And that's why I invited Tatyana Kanzaveli to come and chat with us today, because she is a builder and she built a tool called SocialBrilliance.ai. I actually use the tool. I really love it. I'm sure I'm not using everything about it, but what I see is it's built for very lean teams. It lets you publish like you don't sound like it was generated by AI. It allows you to keep your voice as well. So today on the AI Marketing Companion, I want to walk through how small teams, if you're listening, can use this to punch above your weight class. So Tatyana, welcome. You got a lot to talk about today.
Hey, thanks for having me on your fabulous podcast.
So, first, tell me a little bit about you. If people listening don't know about how magnificent you are and all the stuff you've done in healthcare, but also that you're a builder, talk to me a little bit about who you are.
Everything.
You are.
So my background is AI. Surprisingly enough, that was my master's degree, but I quickly moved into the space on intersection of technology and business processes. And when I was at Price Waterhouse at executive leadership role, in this I was on the partner track. I had to get into sales and marketing and managing, big accounts and all of that. Uh, from that, I did, big fives, public companies, and then a lot of startups as a CEO, as COO, as VP of sales and marketing. And on the startup front, when I was COO, VP of slash VP of sales marketing for AI company, at the earliest stage of social, I had to figure out how to use social for sales and marketing. And with that, I became like top influencer back then, was doing keynotes. So I'm not new to, marketing and sales, if you will. And now with Gen AI, it became more interesting on many aspects. Some of them you've mentioned, but I can see that whoever runs sales and marketing for large companies, small companies, will have to rethink their playbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there is no playbook today, right? I mean, everybody's making it up as they go along. And I think, Tatyana, one of the things that I'm hearing from marketers is they're stuck between I need to post more and I don't have time to write it all. And I'm sure that's a problem that you've heard over and over again. So, kind of walk me through what social brilliance does and kind of how would a lean marketing team leverage it and use it?
Yeah. So, first of all, you know me, I have to disagree with things. So, one one thing that people need to have in mind that it's not about posting more. So why do we post? We want to get more leads. We want maybe to get, to build like brand awareness and all those things. Now, all of that will fail because if your call to action is to go to my website, right? And people come and whatever you have on your website and is not resonating with that specific profile, right? And I can tell you from my experience, people underestimate the content that they're driving to using social. So when I was CEO of AI company, for example, I I um, I ran into executive at the large technology company, and I felt like our product was exact fit for what they wanted to do. And he told me I had a team who evaluated all the tools in the space for us, created long lists, short lists. Your company was not even included in our long list. And I was like, how that happened?
Yeah.
And then when we drilled down, apparently there was something on the company website
Mm,
that was not mentioned in a way that this team, like, oh, yeah, we need it or it does it for us. And we were excluded completely.
wow.
So, the social brilliance, what it does, number one, it can build complete view of all your published content before you start spending all this time and money on creating content, right? And your call to action, or somehow, people will come to your website, especially with small unknown brand, like, oh, let me see what they do, who they are. And if whatever is out there missing or not targeted enough for your target audience or misleading, and I can tell you, I built it. I deployed many agents to do full scale evaluation from buyer point of view, from signal, white space, and everything. So when I build whatever I'm building, and I constantly building things,
Mhm.
building because I need those tools. So that's how social brilliance. I needed a tool and I build it for me. And I realized it can be generalized. So if people will go just put link to the website or even personal branding, their LinkedIn profile, they will get every single aspect assessed, analyzed, plus immediate tool that will give them different ways on how they can change this content to resonate with buyers or influencers, whoever they want to get to their website or any type of, publicly available link. And I use it all the time. The second problem I had was, oh my God, I really wanted my content to look good.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's right.
I was using like yay text or whatever those things, and it was just so annoying and timely, and it just was frustrating. So I had to build a sorted tool, Composer, within Social Brilliance AI that, and I use it, I don't know, for everything, for any outreach that I do. So I use, let's say, ChatGPT to create a content. And I'm good at how I create it. And I cut and paste it into Composer, for example, immediately click analyze. And it scores, analyzes, gives me enough meat to work on my content that I get. If it's below like 82, 88, I never post that content.
Mhm. Just for everybody listening, her scoring is from 0 to 100. And I've used it. I've had scores of 92 before. I've had scores of 66 before. So as she said, if you post your content in there and your score is too low, then it gives you 3 suggestions of what you can do, or you can pick and choose. Sometimes I'll pick from the 3 and then rewrite that way as well. Sorry, I just wanted people to make sure they understood what the
Yeah.
scoring was too.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and again, honestly, I use it all the time. It helps me also to generate first comment, advices on hashtags. And funny enough, it can be used for anything. It can be used for marketing, but also, like I put an example for, let's say, patient recruitment for clinical trials. So any type of outreach, because people just don't realize how you phrase it, how you frame it, and then of course format it. Everything matters. This is the with Gen AI, it became easy to generate massive amount of content.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. And, like, so if I'm like the thing I like about it is, let's say I'm managing LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. And you guys know I work for a startup, so you don't have large teams, you have a team. But if I'm doing that with a person or two, I'm able to have not just a good post, but also, as Tatiana started to talk to you about, it's also formatted for me for TikTok, for Instagram, for LinkedIn. So it actually uses, like, I don't know about you guys, but when I go to post on LinkedIn, sometimes I'll want stuff bolded or done differently. And that takes me so much time. And now I can just use Social Brilliance to do that as well. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, and again, people have to understand I built this all for my use because I just couldn't find anything easy enough, not frustrating. So I put all the functions like Sandy you mentioned to help me to save time and do things in a way that will resonate with my audience. Because every single thing I do, I constantly think how this persona from my targeted audience will reflect on my post, right? So it's not about me broadcasting. It's how it will resonate with those people. And and that's why it was important for me, like you mentioned, what to highlight, what not, what to icons to use, how it will look on different social media channels. Because I never post the same content, cut and paste in all of them because the personas that will be reading are different. And the issue is not on massive amount of generated content. And the metric should not be, oh, I posted like 50 posts a day. It's more how I craft things in exact way that I'll get call to action, whatever those measurements are, meet my goals.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important point because it's really not just about generating a lot of content. You also want the content to be in your brand voice, right? And I find that's something else that I think Social Brilliance does well. Um, if you have a brand voice guideline, then you're able to feed in data so that it sounds more like your company sounds. It doesn't sound like generic. How were you able to do that? I mean, how were you able to get the brand voice to be so readily usable in the tool?
Again, I deployed variety of different agents. One of them is you can save your brand and it will remember things from your posts and previous work. And it does a couple of things. A, it kind of helps to evaluate whatever you post against your brand. Secondly, there is an option to compare, right? So as your brand evolves, you can run analysis and it will compare how perception of who you are, who you target, your products, services, whatever, how it changes based on the messaging and the changes you've applied over time. There is also an option for, let's say, venture, but I use it for my competitor analysis. So I put, multiple sites and then it gives me super useful information on how my messaging compares to messaging of perceived to real competitors. And the other thing that I feel extremely useful to me is the white space analysis, right? So it helps me to understand, am I one of the hundreds of voices in the same space, or I'm addressing the need within the white space that none of those people looked at. So I can add to my messaging. Again, I'm a heavy user. I constantly try to improve it. So I hope that people will try it and then provide me with the feedback so I can make it even more useful for the teams.
Yeah, and if you're a marketer, I think a lot of people today are running into this problem of how do I make sure I've got the right content, the right brand voice, and then also though making sure that if you hit publish and something lands wrong, you need some sort of way to override what AI suggests. And I noticed in the tool as well that you have ways to do like a pre launch test. Tell us a little bit about that pre launch test. I'm assuming that's to kind of gauge ahead of time how your message will land.
Absolutely. I've been using and writing about Gen AI from day one of Gen AI. And I've been doing a lot of training and keynotes. And one of the things still an issue is exactly what you mentioned. There sometimes, I don't know what, but algorithm goes south and it puts things not in the right way, the way you want it. It could be imaginable things, hallucinations. It could be just not the way you usually communicate. And yes, in everything that I personally do, and that's why I build it within the tool, anything I always circle back with review and improve. At this point, it's unavoidable step. Meaning, and I'm as a human, at the end of the day, I'm responsible for the content that goes out, right?
Yep, always got to be a human in the loop, I think.
Yeah. So if something goes south, it's not like you can go to your manager and say, I'm sorry, I did it. You are the one who say, oops.
True, that's right.
Then yeah. So I think this was important to put in to review, reassess, give you a chance to fix it before it actually goes out. And I'm telling you, with or without the tool, anything that you do has to have this at this point. I can tell you that within the agentic, um, full agentic marketing, and I probably will build that in, lots of those things probably will be automated by a variety of different agents.
Hmm.
So it will be less manual. I don't know at what point of time you will be comfortable enough to deploy completely automated, um, like, write, review, post thing. But I think it will be coming, but we're not there yet.
Now, I know today there's lots of tools out there who claim to solve this problem. If you're a marketer and you're looking for a solution that can help you with the content in your own brand voice for a small team, what would you tell marketers to make sure that they look for in that tool?
Again, number one, as I mentioned, every message, you know how sales methodology and marketing methodology, right? You have a goal. And in most of the cases, there is a place where you want people to land, right? So if it's a website or blog post or anything else, I say go and analyze this tool to make sure that once they get there, it has right content for the right audience. Number one. Number two, authority composer is exceptionally, composer is real good to validate message, to format it, to analyze, to role play it, to fix it, test it, and uh, put it out there. And c- I use competitor analysis all the time just to make sure that uh, whatever you do and the way you explain what you do has that differentiator that it doesn't sound, oh, I'm doing exactly the same thing as 5 other companies in my space.
So those are some interesting things that you should look at if you're a marketeer. Does it enable you to compare? Does it enable you to do it simply? Or is the tool easy to use? Is it able to take in your brand guidelines and your grant and your brand voice as well? Now, if I'm a marketing director and I'm listening in, how does this impact my workflow itself? Does this just slide into a workflow that exists out there today? How would you say that someone who is using this as already part of maybe a small marketing team would embed this into their process?
Um, that's exceptionally good question. Ideally, it would have been integrated with whatever other tools they use, but with small marketing team, I would say you can do a lot of things very lean without, spending lots of time and money. So I suspect a lot of small marketing teams, they use Claude or, OpenAI tools or some others to create content. With brand analysis, you don't need to do it every day. You can schedule, so in your editorial calendar, you can do it, once a month, just to make sure your branding's still good on the website, personal branding, whatever that is. On the content creation side, again, I don't post anything until I analyze on SocialBrilliance.ai. So it can be part of the workflow that, okay, I have a content, cut and paste this takes a second. And there is a copy paste function back. From my point of view, I would rather generate and post fewer things, but with the quality that I need, because I compete for eyeballs of gazillion pieces of the content.
Yeah. So much content out there today. And in fact, I was just reading Cloudflare, and I don't know if you saw, bot traffic actually just surpassed human traffic for the first time ever. So now you're not only competing for eyeballs, you're competing for agent balls too, right?
Ah, yep, yes, yeah. Yeah. And again, I think all of those trends will modify the playbooks that all those companies have used before. We have to build a new one.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so believe it or not, our time is almost over. So I'm curious, where do you see marketing going in the future? Like, if you had to project, I mean, you do a lot of vision workshops for a lot of large companies and small companies. Where do you see AI and marketing heading together? How do you see the future?
Uh, Most definitely, it will be um, a driver. I think there will be. I'll just tell you the truth. There will be less budget, less people needed, obviously, in marketing for sure. Um, there will be a need for this type of tools or similar to be able to represent brand in its unique aspects much better, because you and your competitors will be using the same set of Gen AI tools, right? And the last thing you want to do sound like 10 other companies in your space. So I think at this point, human creativity and visionary, because you frame what you want to convey to the stores, how you want, and you do the final review. And I think this handshake and marketers who are not understanding the power in all the ways on how to use tools like Social Brilliance and other ones in their work, of course, will not be able to do well in this changing environment. And I hope there will be new playbooks. The challenge is, like, the spaces is evolving so fast that we'll have to um, rewrite playbooks as we write them,
Yeah.
which is fascinating thing. But overall, I would say try to use these tools, whatever other tools, watch the market, integrate the power of those tools in most meaningful way. These trivial ways are trivial ways. They will not give you outcomes that is the reason you do marketing.
I love that because I do feel like the human, us as humans, I wrote the book AI First Human Always because I do believe that us as humans will be that differentiation, as we move forward and really as we focus for sure. Okay, I
Yeah.
got a set of lightning round questions for you.
Okay.
Um, One task that you would say if you haven't started using AI today and you're in marketing, what should you do? One thing right away.
You should start using it.
Yeah.
I mean, immediately. If you did not use any AI tools in marketing up to now, oh my gosh, start using it. Don't over like at least again at the end of the day you make the call, right? But if you're not using, that's why I build tools, I write about them, I use them, all of them, because then I can see, and I can really feel and learn how to use them the right way.
Yeah, in my book, I call that play storm. Like, get your hands
Ah,
dirty, like, do it.
yeah.
You can't really
And-
understand it unless you do it, right? And you
yeah.
also started Women in Gen AI to help women in particular, but everybody to get in there and use the tools. Don't just look at them or listen to it, but actually to use them. So I really love that about you, Tatyana.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, what do you think is the biggest mistake that marketers make today with AI content?
Oh, they use wrong metrics. So they measure on how many posts they did on LinkedIn or TikTok, or that's not the goal of marketing. I think goal of marketing at the end of the day is to increase sales. Let's put it that way, right? And if you don't have right measurements in place to measure what was the outcome, and it's not just a like is easy. I'm your friend, I'll like it.
Right.
Will it translate to me coming to your website? Will it translate me coming to your website and ordering t-shirt or buying your product, right? So I think that's we need to measure the right things.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to Richard. Richard Bliss does deep analysis of LinkedIn, so only LinkedIn. But he just was talking to you about the changes in the algorithm to where LinkedIn doesn't even care about likes. It's not even in the algorithm. It's about the comments that you get, people who repost it, people who save what you gave them because it had some value in it. Um,
Yeah.
Last question. What does the best marketing team in 2027 look like?
I would say, to be completely honest with you, there will be AI agents that will be part of the marketing team. So if you use any agent creation tools, then there will be AI agent who will be monitoring the space you're in. There will be another agent focused on creating visual, another one on creating content, another one understanding channel specifics and watching trends and SEO trends in so it all will be automated for sure. That's not hypothesis. So this is where we're going. People run companies right now with all AI agents doing all the different things. So the human role will be to understand and orchestrate and maybe at certain level, kind of thought leadership and visionary things, what we're coming with, whatever that is. But it's fascinating and for many people, very difficult to comprehend what we will be facing in marketing in 2027. It's not even, 20, 30 or whatever. It's really coming real fast. And it's exciting, but I know for many people it's scary. It will be scary for you if you are not adopting this.
That's
So if you start using it and adopting and understanding, then it will be your friend. But if if you kind of not getting, like you mentioned, your hands dirty, then you most likely will be replaced.
Good comment. Before we close, Tatyana, I just want to remind people you can try the tool at SocialBrilliance.ai. How else do you want them to get a hold of you?
Um, they can email me because I would love to get feedback. I'm very close to the tool. I use it, but anything you want me to add, improve, if you see any bugs, please, tkanzaveli@gmail.com. You can find my name, Tatyana Kanzaveli, Google it. I'm like open book. You can find me everywhere. And you can join Women in Gen AI, and we can have another set of discussions. We can open a new space for AI and marketing.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. So, what I took from talking to Tatyana is this, that marketing teams winning right now aren't choosing between speed and voice, but they're building a system where that lean team gets both of them. They're publishing consistently, they're having the right call to action, they're authentic, and they're freeing up their best people to do strategy instead of admin. Kind of like Tatiana was talking about, not spending all the time getting the post looking perfect, but being able to spend the time on strategy because that's where marketing is heading. So, Tatyana, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Make sure you check out SocialBrilliance.ai. And again, this episode was sponsored by Brevo, which I use every day in my company, and SEMrush. Brevo for doing CRM and SEMrush for AEO and GEO. Thank you so much for listening to the AI Marketing Companion.
Thank you.